In order, it's 5:48 p.m. We do not have anyone in person for public comment for our closed session items, and we do not have any emails. So we'll move on to roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Here.
Trustee Dickinson.
Here.
Trustee Donnelly.
Present.
Trustee Jackson Miller.
Present.
And Trustee Edmondson is just running a couple minutes late.
Yes, thank you. All right, great. We're going to convene to closed session. We'll be back. And let's see, it's room 62, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just. Okay.
So, like they said it was millions of dollars, like the new Marvel movie, which only made 72 million. It was just like the
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being patient with us. We're running a few minutes late. But thank you for being here tonight. Welcome to our board meeting. We're so happy to have you all here and to celebrate you. We're going to start with a little bit of opening business. I'm going to call our open session to order at 6:39 p.m. And we are going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. And I understand we have a student from New Brighton Middle School who'll be leading us off. Principal Hadrius, would you like to introduce your student?
Thank you. I'm actually honored to introduce two students.
Wonderful.
We just had our turkey trot this week on Monday. And so I thought it would be the perfect time to honor our 8th grade winners, first place winners. Taylor Glinkowski, who's our 3rd time champion for our turkey trot. Come on up, Taylor. And then our 8th grade boys winner, Edgar Serna Esqueda, who is the first place winner this year. Come on up, Edgar.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to Washington Republic, for which it stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now I'm going to read the SoCal Union Elementary School District mission statement. Staff, students, parents, and the community help ensure that each child develops the skills and character necessary for lifelong achievement and responsible citizenship in a diverse world.
Thank you both. We have some certificates of appreciation to present to you, and the certificates have some very nice things written about you. Is it okay if I read those so everyone can hear? Is that okay? All right. And I know we have some translation going on tonight, so I will do my best to speak slowly. We'll start with Edgar. Edgar stands out as a remarkable student athlete who has achieved excellent in both sports and academics. He took the top spot in the 8th grade boys turkey trot with a remarkable time of 7:47. Edgar's talents extend to track, where he secured first place in the 400 meters and is a member of the champion 4x100 meter team. Academically, he maintains an impressive 3.957 GPA and has a passion for math. Edgar aspires to pursue a future in civil engineering and plans to continue his athletic journey by participating in track, soccer, and basketball at SoCal High School. When he's not busy, he's typically riding his bike or playing with his dog, Bambino. Edgar is a true role model for his peers and an asset to the New Brighton community. Congratulations and thank you, Edgar. Edgar, we traditionally, we welcome you up here. I know we're in a big area today, but we welcome you up here. We have a book if you'd like to take a book, and then sometimes the board members ask a few questions. Is that okay? All right, team, have any questions for Edgar?
What kind of dog is Bambino? Oh, cool. All right.
Civil engineer. What do you think of that? But freestanding.
I was wondering if you had any moments with the turkey trot. What was that like with all the students and taking first?
I mean, it was difficult at first. I felt like I sprinted too fast in the beginning, but I just stick to the pace.
You got that second
Yeah.
wind at the end, huh? All right.
Yeah.
That's
Great.
great.
You gonna run track at SoCal?
Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
And play soccer.
Right.
What else? What other sports are you into? Well, that's plenty
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah,
Soccer.
excellent.
So you must like running then.
Yeah.
You do any 10Ks, half marathons, marathons down the road or anything like that? Good, that's a good plan, and I like your GPA too.
Yeah, incredible.
You're busy and got a good GPA. Oh, my mic's not on.
Oh.
I have to repeat everything I said. No, congratulations. I think that's great.
Has it been hard to hear, Edgar, for folks in the audience? Are you able to hear or no? I'm sorry. Okay, so next, for the next student, we could use the podium and I'll come over to the podium. My apologies. But Edgar's a remarkable, one of our many remarkable students at our district, and we're excited to talk to him about his passions. So thank you, Edgar, for being here. Would you like, please help yourself if you would like a book or one of our things. We have kids from all ages who come see us. So whatever is a good fit for you, help yourself. Is it okay to shake hands or elbow bump? Shake hands. All right. Congratulations and thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Edgar, it's nice meeting you. Be awesome. I see you in the papers. Soccer, right? Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Full
Why
way.
don't we do them all together? 'Cause we got together. Okay, come over here. Yeah, all right. Excellent. All right. So Taylor, can I read your certificate? Thank you. So far, I've never had a student say no to me, but I always ask. We're proud to present this certificate to Taylor Glinkowski, 8th grade student at New Brighton. Taylor is an outstanding student athlete who has achieved remarkable success in sports and academics. Not only did she claim first place in this year's 8th grade girls turkey trot with an impressive time of 8:34, but she also excels in club water polo, track, and cross country, where she remains undefeated in the 1600 meters and the cross country race. In addition, Taylor's a dedicated student with a 4.083 GPA. She plans on attending SoCal High, where she wants to continue playing water polo, volleyball, and running track. Taylor dreams of attending an Ivy League school in the future. Taylor is a devoted Taylor Swift fan, enjoys surfing, playing the guitar, and hopes to be able to travel the world. During her time as an NBMS student, Taylor has demonstrated a well-rounded character and has limitless potential. Congratulations to Taylor. Thank you. And is it okay if the board asks you some questions?
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
I'm jumping in. Tell us your favorite Taylor Swift song of the moment.
Ooh, that's a
Oh,
hard
yeah.
one. Okay. I don't have like a favorite song, but my favorite album is Reputation.
Okay. Did you go to her concert?
Yes. I
Yeah,
did.
really?
I went
Levi?
on July 29th at Levi Stadium. It was amazing. It was
Wow.
my second time seeing her.
Really?
So yeah, I saw her on the Reputation tour.
Okay. Yeah, I took my kids to see her too.
Yeah.
That's back when she had the 13.
Yep.
I mean, I took all the boy bands. She was the best.
She is a
Yeah,
amazing
she is a
performer.
great musician. And the backup band was really good. We could talk
Yeah.
music all night.
All right, I have a cross-country question.
Yeah.
Where's your favorite place to run?
Ooh, I really like running on the beach. And sometimes my mom takes me up to Nicene Marks. I gotta say, probably my favorite track for all the ones I did for cross country is probably the one at SLV.
Oh, okay.
My alma mater. Yeah. Yep, wonderful. Thank you.
So acoustic?
Yeah, I play the guitar.
Okay.
And
All right.
So how long until Taylor Swift makes a song about Travis? Breaking up with Travis.
Ooh,
Has that happened?
well,
No.
I think
Oh,
that
okay.
she'll
I
definitely have
just
some
have
new
to keep
songs
track.
on her next album about Travis.
Okay. Wow. So now you're the you won the turkey chop 3 times,
Yes.
6th, 7th, and
Eighth.
8th. Wow, that's great.
Thanks.
Drop in 5th grade and challenge them as well.
Yeah.
You know, there's a bunch of people that can't wait for you to graduate.
Sure.
SoCal water polos.
Oh,
the-
that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Great.
that's a
The
lot of
girls
fun
has a
too.
great team.
I do.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, you're a busy bee with that
Yeah.
GPA as well.
Yep. I know.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you both for being here. Thank you for the Adrian. We always love starting our meetings off with students and then we get even more time with students later.
Photo?
Yeah. Are you guys okay with doing a quick photo with us? Okay. Okay, sorry, I almost forgot the photo.
Where? Should I get on that side?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are your parents here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
come here.
He's the one that-
Anyone who'd like to join us?
Come on up, Principal.
Your Brighton team,
Christina,
absolutely.
Christina, you should be on.
Get on the other side of the camera.
Your parents.
Wherever you want to go.
Yeah, roll on in. Proud papa. I don't think so, but good job.
Okay, they got it. Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys both come on up.
All right, yeah.
Oh, you're behind him.
Yeah, come on over. Oh, you got your logo.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Thank you. Thanks for putting up with us, guys. Yeah, great job. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Next up is the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just the regular agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. Next is the report out of closed session. The board met in closed session and does not have anything to report. Next is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion regarding the consent agenda?
I wanted to make a motion to pull 4E and 4F. And I wanted to ask that we put it in 9A, in front of 9A or as 9A. So the first action item.
All right, we have a motion to approve and adopt the consent agenda with the exception of items 4E and 4F, moving those to our first action item before 9A. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we got through that. Now it's time for our recognition ceremony. Thank you again for in staying here with us. So Jessica, are you going to lead us off?
I am, thank
Okay.
you. So greetings to our students and families and staff and friends in our community. Tonight is the night for joyous celebration. It is a joyous celebration of the accomplishment of our English learners who are going to be reclassified as fluent English proficient students. In this night, we get to celebrate the students themselves, but we also get to celebrate all of the people that have been on the journey with them. Tonight, students, congratulations for the work that you have done. You have worked so hard. And to your families, thank you so much for loving and supporting them through all of the hard work, because we know it's been hard work for you as well. We'd like to take this opportunity for you to get acknowledgement for the hard work you've done as families by giving you a big round of applause. And as it takes not just a student and a family support, it takes a school and a community to support each student and their family on this arduous journey. So if you are a community member, you are a staff member, you are a lover of children or a person who lives in this community, please give yourselves a big round of applause for the support that you've given. And to our board specifically, thank you always so much in supporting all of the movements in support of our English learners. Thank you so much. So reclassification is the process where a student goes from being an English learner to fluent English proficient. And that is not easy. What that means is they have to do everything that their English only friends do in multiple languages. They have to think in 2 languages. They have to speak in 2 languages. They have to read in 2 languages, understand content in 2 languages, and to be able to do all of that while just having the same number of minutes in school as everybody else. It is a heroic opportunity, and it is a heroic challenge met. So to the students tonight, for all of that work that you have been doing. We would like to celebrate you, and by doing that, we would like for your school principals and staff to come up and recognize each of you individually with a certificate signifying you as fluent English proficient students in our schools. So if I can have our first school come up, Santa Cruz Gardens Elementary.
Buenas noches, ustedes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Carlo Albano, and it is my pleasure and honor to be here as the principal of Santa Cruz Gardens. It is so lovely to see so many faces that have now graduated and gone on to middle school and high school that have come through our wonderful campus. And I'm just very, very proud of all of the students, all of the families that are here. We have multilingual learners that have more than one culture and an abundance of opportunity because of that. And we really, really honor that tonight. And I'm very thankful to be here with our wonderful Santa Cruz Gardens team. I'd like to introduce our wonderful teachers, English language development teacher, Miss Tina Bonner. We have our second and third grade teachers, Miss Rydell and Miss Marsh. Reading intervention teacher, Karen Yee, excuse me. And our wonderful counselor, Sue Robinson. Without further ado, I'll pass it over to them.
Thank you, Mr. Albano. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Felicitaciones por tu logro de reclasificarte como competente en inglés mientras mantienes tu primer idioma. Admiramos tu trabajo que muestras todos los días. Hablar varios idiomas fortalece tus habilidades de pensamiento y tu comprensión de diversas culturas. Ser bilingüe puede abrir puertas a un mundo de oportunidades. Los conocemos a cada uno de ustedes desde hace varios años y estamos orgullosos de tu increíble crecimiento y de los logros que han cumplido. Siéntete orgulloso de tus logros y de la persona que eres. Estamos muy emocionados por ti y tu familia y esperamos ver todos tus éxitos.
Congratulations to all of you on your remarkable achievement of reclassifying as English proficient while maintaining your proficiency in your first language. We admire all your hard work. Speaking multiple languages strengthens your thinking skills and your understanding of diverse cultures. Your bilingualism is a valuable asset that opens doors to a world of opportunities. It's heartening to see the incredible growth and accomplishments that all of you have achieved. We're proud of your journey and we look forward to seeing your continued success.
We will start presenting our students from Santa Cruz Gardens. Our first student is at outdoor school as we speak, but I would like to mention his name, Jorge Servin Espinoza.
Isaac Diaz. Isaac could not be here tonight, but I wanted to make sure we recognized him. The next student is Valerie Cerna.
I am proud to give the certificate to Florencia Romero. I don't think she's here tonight.
I had the opportunity to work with a student from the Opal Cliffs Home Base Program, and I'd like to congratulate Matthew Martinez and Asensio. I apologize. Mateo. That's all for Santa Cruz Gardens.
Would it be okay if we asked while we have the SoCal Elementary staff come up, would it be okay if we actually had our students from Santa Cruz Gardens stay up? Because we'd love to take a picture of them all when they're done. Is that okay? All right, SoCal staff, come on up.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Witter. I'm the principal at SoCal Elementary. Thank you all for being here. Big thank you to our Board of Education and our district cabinet for having this celebration. With me, I have our English language development specialist, Ms. Livingstone, and Ms. Hernandez Meza, one of our teachers, Ms. McMillan. And when I think about redesignation, I think, number one, these are students that have learned a second language. But number two is, our goal for all students is to be proficient academically, successful academically. Usually we're talking about your first language. These students have done this in a second language, which is just such a major accomplishment. So congratulations to them. Congratulations on being multilingual students. We have 4 students for SoCal Elementary, 2 of which are here, and we're going to recognize them.
The first student that I would like to recognize is Leonardo Olvera Perez, and he is actually in outdoor science school, so he won't be here, but let's give him a round of applause. Our second student who is also at outdoor science school is Jose Ruben Gonzalez Servin. Our next student is Dara Juan.
Many things, you get so many things.
Our next student is Valeria Zavala. Thank you very much.
All right, and it looks like New Brighton, you are ready. Come on up.
Thank you so much. Well, first I'd like to introduce our wonderful staff behind us. Miss Brittany Birchall, our assistant principal. Allison Watkins, Miss Stack, our ELD teacher, couldn't be here tonight, and this is her teaching assistant. We've got Miss Prestegard, one of our math teachers, and our former wonderful veteran teacher, Miss Roster, who is actually is still with us as an academic support teacher in the afternoons through our ELOP program. So thanks so much for joining us.
Okay, by 6 first.
Okay. All right. Well, now I'm going to announce. First, I'm going to start with 6th grade, and I am honored to introduce Daniel Clavel.
Thanks, Danny.
Come on up, Danny. All right, Danny. Congratulations. Our next student is Brian Maxi Martinez. Is Maxi here? I don't see Maxi. I don't see Maxi. All right, moving on to seventh grade. All right, we've got Stephanie Ojeda Melhor. Stephanie, come on up. Congratulations. Congratulations. Next up, we have Rafis Reyes Vega. Congratulations. All right, and Jose Pinedo. Come on up, Jose. Congratulations. And now for our eighth grade students, we have Brian Medina Montoya. Congratulations, Brian. And we have, we missed one seventh grader, so I'll get to the last seventh grader in just a moment, but I'll finish off eighth grade. Dianella Cuevas. And our last eighth grader for tonight is Emily Silva Carnejo. And last but not least, we've got seventh grader Joel Coto Yanez. Come on up, Joel. All right, I'd like to take a moment just to thank all of our dedicated staff who have worked with our students over the years, and also to the elementary staff who have worked with our students. And I know everyone is just so eager to see them and take pictures with them, because everyone is so proud of these students right here. And I also just obviously want to thank our students for their dedication to learning a second language, to being multilingual, to working hard, because we know they are working really hard to get here tonight. And so I just want to say how proud I am of each one of them. So thank you, everyone, and congratulations, students.
All right, and while New Brighton takes a photo, did you get everything? We did not get a photo. While New Brighton gets their photo together, if the Main Street staff will come up to the front, that would be great. All right, and we'll make sure to give you more time to take pictures as we move forward. Main Street Elementary, come on up.
My name is Nicole Kelly and I'm principal at Main Street Elementary, and I'd like to introduce my staff here. Our resource teacher, Miss Beth Willen. Laura Johnson is our intervention teacher. Laura Johnson's our resource teacher. Miss Callie Lyon is our kinder teacher and Miss Nikki Langsam is our TK teacher. So here representing and celebrating, we have one student here today. And I'm going to say what I think about this feat and then talk a little bit about him. But what I really want to say and share when I think of reclassification is the amazing thing that we can do as human beings, which is to communicate. And out of communication comes relationships. And that's really the heart and soul of who we are as humans, to build connections and community. And so to be able to express yourself and to build those relationships, not only in your first culture and your first language and building that within your family and friendships, but then to go beyond that, and especially into a very dense language, complex language like English, is something to definitely celebrate. And I love that we started with some runners today, because you have to have resilience, you have to have stamina, you have to have endurance, and you have to have that long goal in mind, right? And keep on keeping on. And that's really what it takes. And I just think it's an amazing way to celebrate everyone in this room tonight. And I know that Carlos, our one student here tonight that we are recognizing, has done all of that. I've spoken with his teachers and they say to me, he's kind. He comes and gives 150%. You know, he is a true friend to others. He really represents that Main Street way. So not even just the energy that he's putting into his academics, but the whole person of who he is represents all those amazing traits. So we have, with no doubt, Carlos, that you're going to go far. You're going to continue to be successful. So we'd like to call you up here, buddy, and celebrate you. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
All right. Well, this is a great opportunity for us to celebrate you for the next probably 15 to 20 more minutes, but I'm going to give you some directions about how that's going to happen. But before I do that, I want to thank Stephanie Garcia for organizing the event with our EL specialist and our community liaison, Lily, who is translating for many of you tonight, all of whom have the heart of angels and the work ethic of horses. So thank you. And I mean that in the best possible way. Amazing, amazing gifts that we have in our district. Before we transition to the library, where we will have some cupcakes and a place where you can take photos, I'd like to give our board president specifically, an opportunity to speak on behalf of this celebration tonight. And again, thank you so much for all you have done. We are so very proud.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Well, on behalf of the entire board, we first of all want to extend our great thanks to our staff for putting on this event, and of course for the dedication that's been celebrated in so many ways tonight towards helping our students achieve their goals. Thank you to your families, to your networks of support, and to you, the students. You know, one of the principals used the word abundance, and that's really what this is. We're talking about abundance. We're talking about communication and relationships. And this hard work that you've put in, it's a wonderful gift to yourself, and we honor that. And it's also a gift for the entire world. The world needs more multilingual folks. So thank you for being leaders. We appreciate you. All right. Did anyone else say anything? I'm opening it up to the board in case they have any final words. I know you're ready to get on to the celebration. We might just have a few more nuggets of wisdom. Yeah.
All I want to say, congratulations. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Give yourselves a hand.
And for those kiddos who couldn't be here tonight due to science camp or other events that weren't able to bring them here, we expect we will celebrate them in our next celebration in the spring. Excellent. Okay. Thank you again.
Congratulations.
Did they need any directions? Everyone knows.
I can give them.
Got it. Okay, the board's going to go into a short recess so we can talk about, the celebration. So the board won't be taking any official board business during then. So we're going to go into a quick recess.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Welcome back. We were just in a recess while we were celebrating our reclassified students and their families. But we're going to continue on with our agenda. The next item on our agenda is public communication. We have a little blurb on our agenda about that, but for public communication options, folks are welcome to email the board before the meeting on any topic. If folks want to email about an agenda item during the meeting, we receive emails on agenda items. And then we have public communications on non-agenda items for in-person communication, and we ask folks to fill out a speaker form. I do have one speaker form. So we will, let's see, I also should mention that we generally allot 3 minutes to each speaker and a maximum of 20 minutes to each subject matter. And I have one speaker form from Jamie McMillan. Come on down. Thank you for being here. Of course.
Hello. First of all, I want to say, and they're all gone now, but I always come to this every year or like twice a year when this happens because it's such a special event. And it was so great to see all the teachers that came to support their students. However, right now I'm here tonight on behalf of SoCal Elementary. During the board meeting on November 1st, the SoCal community became disheartened after hearing how some of our board members spoke about SoCal L, its test scores, and its teachers. While some positives were shared, it was clear there was a true disconnect in their understanding of how our school operates and how our district works together to support all students. Our hope and goal is that these board members can hear what we have to say so we can all walk away tonight with a stronger bond of our district's motto of cultivating knowledge, character, and equity. We were very proud of the data that Dr. Glantz was presenting regarding our growth in math on the CAST scores. Rather than joining us in our celebration, 2 members chose to point out a dip in 1 grade. That is why we look at data. We should look for growths and dips. However, we were saddened by how seemingly uninformed these members seem to be regarding what we do at our schools, what it means to be a good teacher, and what impacts test scores. To hear that they thought they knew who the best teachers were based on 1 data point isn't just concerning to our site, but to all of our school sites. We hope everyone on the board acknowledges and celebrates the differences between each site and can grow a better understanding of our district as a whole. Teachers were very appreciative of how Mr. Turnbull and Dr. Glantz defended us. We would appreciate if you took them up on their offerings to educate yourselves. Therefore, we invite these board members and all board members to come to our classrooms, come see our interventions, come to our data meetings, come see our parent education events, come see what makes our school and every single school in our district successful. I promise you will see amazing, dedicated teachers who fight to reach every student and family needs in our small, unique, and special campuses.
Thank you very much. We always appreciate hearing from the public, and we especially appreciate hearing from our staff. Is there anyone else who'd like to make public comment in person? Okay, thank you. Oh, I got my pages out. Apologies. Okay, next up we have our standing reports. And we'll begin with our Assistant Superintendent of Business Services. Unless you'd rather switch. Thank you. Let's see. Would you like to take a moment and introduce our new Assistant Superintendent of Business Services? Thank you for pointing that out.
I would absolutely love to. Super proud and pleased to reintroduce Allison Warner, who had been with our district previously as our financial director, went out to another district as their CBO, and now has come back home to help guide us financially in our district with all of her expertise. So Allison, it's welcome and welcome back.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be back and excited to be back. This is a great district and I love everything that you guys have always done here. So I totally appreciate all of you. So this week, this is actually my 8th day today. So I hit the ground running. Been helping out with negotiations. We're ramping up in the business office for first interim. And I've been meeting with some of my department heads, and we'll be continuing to meet out with principals and so forth in the near future. So thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Well, since I have 3 whopping items on the agenda tonight, I'm gonna just keep my update to one. When our board met last time, and thank you to the board for allowing me to leave a little bit early. I did get to Sacramento before the hotel closed, which was fantastic, but it was great that I was able to go there. I was able to participate in the AXA Leadership Summit over a 3-day period. And I think the crux of the Leadership Summit was really leading and strengthening staff and family community to support students. And that was the theme of the entire event. It was really leading by learning and leading by listening and really leading for innovation. And so I hope that what I learned I can put into action as we kind of move forward as a district. Leading and learning always is something difficult to do, because as you learn, the more you know you're not leading well, right? Because you're thinking, what more can I do? What more is there to offer? And all of those things. So you leave those types of conferences thinking, wow, these are affirming things that I've heard, and gosh, there's a lot of work left to do. And I felt both of those things. But hopefully in the months ahead, and working with our staff in our community, we'll see some of those really great initiatives come to fruition. I'm excited about it. So thanks to the board for allowing me to take the opportunity.
Thank you. All right, Scott.
Attendance is up in the district. Yay. Thank you to everybody who has a hand in that. That's from the classroom, parents, and everybody. It's going to make a big difference in learning, obviously, and it also makes a big difference to our bottom line. Turkey Trot was a great event in New Brighton. Thank you, Principal Hadrius, Assistant Principal Birchall, and all the staff there do such an amazing job on what is one of the best events of the year. Last night, we had our Racial Justice Task Force meeting, and another meaningful opportunity to discuss equity and implementation of that in our district. It was our first listening session, and we brought back alumni of SoCal Union Elementary School District, which is really cool. These were folks that are all adults, some in college, one who's now a teacher at SoCal High School, and went through our schools, had some really meaningful dialogue about a lot of positive things they got out of our district, and then some areas that we can learn from. So really appreciate everybody who came out for the task force meeting and for those alumni. Big shout out to Jen, Enrique, Mark Lewis, and Lily Espinosa, who came through with their relationships and connections to have those panelists come in. We had CSEA negotiations today. I was really pleased to meet with their leadership on the classified side, along with their regional representative. And I think we had a very productive session. No final deal done yet, but a lot of good discussion on positives for the district moving forward. Tonight's one of the best events of the year, and I had 2 great things today. I was able to go to the Friendsgiving that Miss Jesberg, the librarian here, put on along with her book club, another excellent ELOP offering, and it was just fantastic. We had pizza instead of turkey, and just the book club students who were there and just enjoying each other's company, along with some staff from New Brighton. Wonderful event. And then last but not least, tomorrow night I have a virtual superintendent's town hall, 6 o'clock on Zoom. I'm hoping a lot of parents can tune in and learn a little bit more about what's going on in our district. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, we have items from CSEA. I'm not sure I see anyone at the CSEA table, and we don't have any. Okay, no problem.
We might do it.
CSEA. Oh, I'm so SEA, right? SEA is next. So we don't have anything on email from CSEA. So next up is SEA. Come on down. We've got a mic for you. Either way, it's fine.
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter. No.
It's nice. Hello, I'm Nicole Langsam. I'm a TK teacher at Main Street Elementary, and I'm here to speak for SEA. Oh, it's
no.
Are you CSEA?
Okay. Do you mind if SEA works on their report out? Perfect. And then we'll do CSEA. Yeah. Thank you so much.
We'd like to start by honoring the students celebrating their reclassification this evening. The entire SoCal Schools community is proud and impressed by your perseverance and resilience. Congratulations to each of you and to your families. Main Street fifth graders are off to science camp this week. We hope they have fun adventures in spite of the rain. Main Street is looking forward to the Scholastic Book Fair in the library after returning from vacation. At New Brighton Middle School, the Student Council is in the middle of their second Harvest Food Drive. Special thanks to the support of the Humanities team for hosting the bins. CASA will be our Toy Drive beneficiaries this holiday season. CASA stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates and is a national association in the United States that supports and promotes court-appointed advocates for children in need of that assistance. CASA is comprised of volunteers from the community who complete training that has been provided by the state or local CASA office. Student Council is hoping for as much support as last year. SoCal Elementary had a TK5 phonics and literacy training this week, which they felt was helpful with UFly and small group reading instruction. Like Main Street, SoCal's fifth grade kids are off to a stormy science camp. Poor kids. Opal Cliffs congratulates their fifth grade student who is part of the reclassification ceremony this evening. The hard work necessary for this achievement definitely merits a celebration. Opal Cliffs also extends a warm welcome to their new eighth grade student. Recently, SEA was able to send 3 of its members to attend two different CTA conferences that provided information and support about ways to grow our teaching practice and better support all students. We appreciate that these members were willing to give up their own weekend time in order to cultivate themselves as educators. SEA looks forward to a positive resolution to negotiations. And finally, we are looking forward to a week of expressing gratitude and wish everyone a happy autumn break and a bountiful Thanksgiving.
Thank you. All right, CSEA.
Yes. Sorry, I was late today. I had a board meeting with CKC, so we just got out now, so I apologize for that. We had negotiations today, and I want to thank Mr. Turnbull. It was and Allison, I think it's pronounced Warmer. Is that correct? Warner. I apologize for that. Jennifer as well too. I think that was it. That was there today. I felt like it was really well. Appreciate everything that was offered. Appreciate you working on the contract with what we had. I'm looking forward to moving forward on that. I think we meet again December 4th. And that's pretty much all I have. I'm really happy with how negotiations went today. I'm really excited. So thank you all.
Thank you. Next up will be items from the trustees. I'll just start by saying I have nothing to report, and then would anyone else like to start?
I'll go. I attended the Racial Justice Task Force listening session, and that was really great just to hear alumni and what their experience was in our district and what they're doing now. And they gave us a lot of really good, real feedback. So I'm excited to see what we can do with that.
I have nothing to report out.
Thank you.
I had the pleasure of going to New Brighton for their Harvest Festival, and I thought you guys did an amazing job. It looked great. There was tons of kids. Everybody was engaged. The parents were there. Hopefully we made a lot of money, but it was a wonderful event. Thank you guys for what a wonderful job putting that on. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I have nothing to report.
Okay, thank you all. Great. We are going to move down to our first presentation. So next item is a presentation from Ms. Hadrius, principal of New Brighton Middle School. We've got this nice big room.
Right. This is really nice. George, I just press, let me see. Oh, got it. Okay. Situate. I need my eyeglasses. Well, thank you. Thanks for allowing me to present tonight. As you all know, my name is Christina Hadrius, and I'm the principal at New Brighton Middle School. Yeah, that's better. And tonight, our presentation is building a positive school culture at New Brighton Middle School. My goal is to showcase our collective effort and all of the strides that we've made as a staff and as a school community to foster a school environment of inclusivity, respect, and academic excellence. So I'm going to start with the framework behind building a positive school culture. So the California MTSS framework is a multi-tiered system of supports, and it's a comprehensive framework designed to support students. And the framework is to target support to all students in a school. And so part of this framework, and you can't really see it down there, but it's circled there, and it's something that our district has chosen as a focus this year as well, along with our school. And it is to a strong and positive school culture. It's right under the integrated supports domain. And so you may be asking, for some of you that may not know, what is the MTSS framework? Again, it's a comprehensive framework that many schools use, but in the state of California, we use it. And again, we use it to target support for our students. So this is where our PBIS and our efforts with behavior falls under this. Our efforts with our social emotional growth with our SEL comes under this. Any type of intervention comes under MTSS, and it's really targeted to serve the whole child. So I'll go on to the next slide here. And so this brings us to the next concept of unity and purpose. So the MTSS framework is collaborative in nature. And so in order to see that the goal of building a strong culture, positive culture happens, we have to have unity in our purpose. And so that helps us achieve our educational goals. And so our goal with having unity and purpose is to be able to focus on having a shared commitment. And that's something that our staff has. And we've recommitted ourselves this year and all of our staff in creating that foundation of a cohesive community. We also worked really hard to develop a shared vision. And that's where we've all aligned our goals for the success of every student every day, which is what our theme is this year, every student every day this year. And also collaborative effort. When we, work together collaboratively, we're able to foster an inclusive, respectful, and rigorous learning environment, which is what our goal is. And so that's all great in theory and that's great to talk about. And we know we have that goal and that's our objective, but what does it look like in practice at New Brighton Middle School when we all get together as a staff and we say, yes, we're going to be united in our purpose and we're going to be collectively committed to our PBIS efforts, our SEL efforts, our MTSS approach. Well, what does that look like? So we have worked very hard, our staff, to develop universal expectations and strategies that helps create this positive school culture that we have. So one of the things our staff has worked really closely together in creating classroom consistency. So what does that look like for our students here at New Brighton? Well, first of all, it's universal expectations. Our staff has worked diligently together to create expectations of what a student should be doing in a classroom and what the expectations are, whether it's the classroom regular gen ed class, whether it's a PE class, whether it's a flex class. They've worked together to create those expectations. We also have implemented our SEL strategies. We utilize the ruler approach, and a lot of our SEL, social emotional learning strategies, are integrated through our classroom lessons. All of our teachers and our staff are utilize the PBIS strategies, so that that stands for positive behavior intervention supports, where we focus on preventing behaviors by reinforcing positive behaviors. We also we aim to create an engaged learning environment, which is a rigorous learning environment that's accessible for all of our students. And as I explained earlier, the MTSS approach or the framework is aimed at making sure that every student gets what they need. So our teachers are really, busy and working collaboratively to create that rigorous learning environment that's not just accessible to some students, but that's really accessible to all students through differentiation and making sure that lessons are scaffolded to help all students that need that support. Another universal strategy that we're utilizing is this focused support. We have been really just amazingly lucky to have ELOP funds, and I want to share a little bit what we've been doing with our ELOP. We've been able to create an after-school program that we've never had here at New Brighton Middle School. We're actually after school, we're open till 5 p.m. now, so we can have students be on campus till 5 p.m. We not only have athletic programs available, like pickup basketball and such, but we saw Mr. Turnbull mention the efforts in our library. We have book club and chess club, and the library is open till 5:30 every day. We also have an academic support homework club, essentially, where Miss Roster, you saw her all earlier, and she's one of our teachers in our academic support class. So she loves to come back to New Brighton and be able to support our students. And obviously being here tonight, being so proud of our students. So we have, I'll list a few other ELOP opportunities. We have a weightlifting class, we have cheerleading, we have a card club, and I know I'm missing a lot of other classes here. But our library, fishing, we've got our fishing club that meets Thursdays, surfing, chess. I can't even go on about this ELOP. The funds have been used in a way that have really supported our students. And they're here till 5 o'clock. I'm here late and I'm walking out and I have still kids on campus, right? So it's really exciting that they have a place to stay, which is what we didn't have before. Kids had to go home. There was no place to stay. So that's been really exciting. What's really cool about ELOP as well is we have our 0 period PE class, but we've been able to have a 0 period math class with our ELOP funds, which has been really great in supporting our students. So our teachers have worked in creating, targeting students that could need that extra support, and they get extra math help in the morning, and then they get to go to their regular math class during the day. So it is similar to the program up at SoCal High, having the Math Plus class. So we've been really fortunate to have, these ELOP funds to be able to have these targeted supports and enrichment opportunities. We also have our Flex class, which is another just exciting class that we have that allows students to get support. It's a class that's in the middle of the day where students can work on their class assignments, unfinished work, but also be able to go to different teachers to be able to get the help that they need. We're also looking at ways, and this is where our staff, when I talk about unity and purpose, this is where they come together and say, how can we make our Flex class, more, how can we utilize our Flex class to better support our students? And right now, our teachers are finding ways to be able to support our students in Flex. And we're looking at ways to create intervention, more targeted support, small groups for our students to help them in math. So that's exciting. And I can't wait to come back to tell you how that all works out. So let me move on to the next slide. So we've looked at our universal expectations and strategies, which form our solid foundation for academic and social growth. And, so by ensuring classroom consistency and engaging all of our students in a rigorous learning environment and providing that focused support, it's going to set up our students to have success. But what happens when challenges arise? As they do, right? So there's going to be challenges. There's going to be behavior challenges. And so the question has always been for our staff, how do we address those issues and uphold our school's values, right? And then still give the consequences. So our staff has worked, and I cannot say how much effort and work and collective effort they've put in to create a restorative discipline policy that focuses on these 5 points. Building a sense of community. All of our teachers and staff work to cultivate a respectful, inclusive environment in their classroom. Fostering empathy, that's a really difficult concept for middle schoolers to get the empathy part. So how do we do that? Well, one of the things we do is we help them understand how their actions have affected other people. Repairing harm. When something has happened and they've hurt someone, well, how are they going to restore that relationship? And how do we get them to encourage them to make amends? Right? We don't force people to make amends. We don't force people to do an insincere apology, but letters of apology and having conflict resolution, that's a part of the restorative discipline policy. We encourage accountability. We want our students to learn from their mistakes, right? Restorative practices teach students to be accountable for their actions and to make amends. And that's what we hope our students get when they have to go through our restorative discipline policy. Finally, the positive behavior reinforcement, recognizing and celebrating positive behavior. So that means we have to incentivize students sometimes through our Viking voucher program or recognizing students when they're respectful, safe, kind, or responsible. And we have to celebrate that positive behavior because that's the preventative. And the teaching the expectations in our classrooms. All of our teachers are reteaching expectations and following these universal expectations in their class, whether we're asking students to slant, which is sitting up, listening, asking, answering questions, nodding, tracking the speaker, or if they're sitting in their seat by the time the bell rings, or they're thinking before they speak. We have noise level charts, 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the noise level of the classroom? I mean, all of those things are creating an environment that is a positive learning environment, but reinforces the importance of a positive behavior in order to access the learning. So our restorative discipline policy, that reflects our commitment to students being able to make amends, to understand their mistakes, and to be able to learn from them. But the strength of our school culture isn't just how we address our challenges. It's also one of our goals is how to cultivate the positive connections and a sense of belonging. And so we do that through fostering student and family connection. And this is one of our goals this year as well, is how to improve the relationships with the families and with our students. And so how are we doing these things? Well, there was a few things that were mentioned tonight earlier about connections. I think Robert mentioned going to the Harvest Festival, and we had the Friendsgiving in the library. So we do have a lot of fun activities on our campus to create that student and family connection. We have our athletics, that our wonderful athletics program that's run by Mr. Domo, our athletic director, who is here. We do a lot of school spirit events that is organized by our student council advisor, Jessica Laurie, who's done so much work with our yearbook and our student council. We have our family connection. We're working on focusing on Heritage Month to bring more recognition to families to different heritages and different diversity. We looked at, like I discussed, the Harvest Festival and the community pop-up, and also as a community connection, just building collaborative partnerships that we've worked with. At our last event, we had about 16. So is that about 16 partners that came to our Harvest Festival. So community partners, which was pretty amazing for our first ever community pop-up event. So schools work hard to create a positive school culture. And how is that connected to outcomes, right? So we think, oh, well, we need to be, focusing on academics. Of course we do. We need to be focusing on those things. And that is all a part of it. But why are we focusing on the positive school culture? How does that help us in the long run? Well, so it does. And we have seen some positive outcomes in our behavior and discipline, in our engagement and attendance, and our academic progress. And so when we talk about, have these initiatives and efforts been working? Yeah, I would say they are working. So our behavior and discipline, for example, it's improved. If I looked at the data from this year compared to last year, our suspension rate has gone down up until November from last year at this time. For engagement and attendance, you heard Mr. Turnbull say, attendance is up. It's up. November alone in attendance compared from last year for New Brighton is a 4.2% increase. Wow. Overall, I looked at the status and I hope it's correct, Mr. Turnbull, if I ran the right report, but I'm seeing our overall, we're over 1% from last year, which is huge. We're at 93.95 compared to last year's at 92.62 at this time. And that's even before going into the, there was a November dip last year with a lot of sickness. So academic progress, we've had in our math scores, a 3.24% increase in our math, which it was just huge to see growth in math. And we just look to continue to make those positive upward movements in the academic progress as well. And so as I conclude my presentation for today, I just want to express my sincere gratitude for getting the opportunity to come in front of all of you and be able to share the positive school culture environment that our staff and students are working on creating at New Brighton. And the journey and the outcomes tonight that I've shared are truly it's a testament to a collective effort. It is a testament to the hard work and dedication and the commitment of all of our community. It's our passionate and dedicated teachers and our staff members, our students who are so enthusiastic and are showing up ready to learn, to our supportive families who are making those great connections and are coming into our campus and to feel more connected to our school and to our students as well. And then, of course, our valuable community properties, our community partners. So my hope tonight is just to leave with the guiding principle of unity and purpose. And that's just what we've been talking about at New Brighton, which drives us to our overall theme of every student and every day. And that's, again, through all of our collective efforts. It's just not one person doing this, but I'm just proud to say that through our collective efforts, we are seeing positive outcomes because of the hard work of everyone to create a positive school culture. And thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I'm sure we have some board members with questions.
Yeah.
Anyone in particular like to start? Questions or comments from the board? Yes, Phil.
So a couple.
Yeah.
Under the focus support, would you still do Avid?
Oh, yes, we do.
And so.
Yes.
And
See, there's another one. Yes, we Avid. Yes, we do. We have a 7th grade and an 8th grade Avid class. And thank you for highlighting that. We have Mr. Ryberg and Mr. Zappacosta, our fabulous 7th and 8th grade Avid teachers, and Miss Vanessa Eaton, who is our Avid coordinator. And I think I wasn't at the racial justice task force meeting yesterday, but I did receive some feedback today about the positive conversations that the students were able to share. And one of the overarching themes was about Avid. And that's what the feedback that I received. And it wasn't just the Avid program here, but it was also connected to SoCal High. And so that was something that I was so proud to hear about how Avid has really changed some of our students' lives for the better. So thank you for highlighting that.
And thank you for the segue, because my next question was, can you speak about any progress on the woodshop pathway with SoCal High?
That's a great question as well. So Mr. Gertler, who I didn't want to put too much pressure on him to be out, because he's really just getting his bearings as our new woodshop teacher. So he is starting to now make those connections. So he'll be working with some other woodshop partners in the county. He has made a couple of meetings set up. I know he's meeting with some middle school woodshop teachers first, and he is in contact with the Soquel High woodshop teacher as well. And he's hoping to get some time to get up there as well. So thank you for that.
And let me know when you're ready
Yeah.
for me to invite businesses to come.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Thanks, Phil.
Sure.
Anyone else?
I just want to say that I love your presentations. It's always so fun to learn about all the great things that's happening in New Brighton.
Thank you, Callie. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll dovetail on that too. I mean, it's just fun. I mean, at the Harvest Festival, kids are into New Brighton. They're wearing Viking gear. You know, we've got sports teams that are winning championships. I mean, there's a lot of pride and positivity.
Yeah.
You know, it just feels like there's movement. You know, it's cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robert. Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I really appreciate how everything that you touched on, it's infused with equity, you know, and we're so fortunate that we're at a time where we have the funding that we do for the ELOP program and all these opportunities. So for some kids, it is the athletics that, you know, brings them that, you know,
absolutely
speaks to their purpose and gets them to school and brings them joy. And for some kids, it might be playing chess in the library,
That's
you
right.
know, for some kids, it's that recognition they got tonight as reclassifying, but we all know our kids, you know, we all come in so many different ways and so many different needs. And so seeing how your staff can come together and really address all of our learners and bring something to everyone and make everyone feel welcome and a part of the community, and then bringing in the outside partners, you know, to help support our students and our families. It's really wonderful. And it's, you know, as someone who had kids at New Brighton, however many years ago now, as a student there now, I mean, it's just beautiful to see the way our community can evolve and change to meet the needs of our families. So that's just me saying a lot in a lot of ways. Thank you to you and your staff.
Thanks. Thanks, Amanda. Thank you.
And I'll just throw this in there too. I mean, you guys have a really good home and school club. And they did a lot of work for that whole thing. And, you know, I saw them out there cooking hot dogs and making food and doing all that too. So it's great to have that parent and community support represented at these events.
Yes, we're really lucky to be able to partner with them. It was originally just going to be a community pop-up, and Brittany was the lead of creating that. So thank you, Brittany, for bringing all those community partners to us. And it just merged into this great event where we partnered with our home and school club parents. And so it turned out to be great. Yeah.
Can't wait to see what you guys do next year.
I know, right?
And I will tell you, that's not easy.
Yeah.
Bringing out, again, calling them up.
That's right.
Yeah, nice job.
Getting everybody on the same page.
She did a great job.
Yeah.
I love the energy that both of you have, you know, for our middle school and the teachers out there and staff out there as well too. I really like the universal expectations, especially slant, you know, make you sit up and
Head slant.
sit up and like that. And not my head.
Yeah, not your head.
I like that. It's interesting though, voice levels. I don't know why, but this is my brain, is that usually you have no talking at the top. And then outside voice at the bottom. On the graph there. Why is there a reason why outside's at the top and not at the bottom?
Oh, that's a great question.
Sorry, that's my mind.
That's a great question. No, it's just the loudest is the higher number. So the louder the higher the number is, the louder the
You want
voice.
to be louder.
No. We
Okay,
want them to
all right.
have
Yes.
zero noise as an assessment or a test. Yes, no, we like to have our students like flex.
Yes.
We would say zero noise if someone's making it retaking a test or something like that. Right. And then, you know, level 1 would be the whisper to a partner next to you.
Okay. And I like your electives. I was just running through.
Oh,
the
yeah.
electives on
We have a
the
lot of
website.
great
Yeah, you
electives.
got a lot to offer.
We have a lot to offer. We're very lucky with Janice Taylor, who is our third year art teacher. Third year art teacher. Mr. Gertler, second year woodshop. We've got an alum, MBMS alum and Soka High alum, Miss Frankel, who is our Senora Frankel, who is our Spanish teacher.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we have a great program here. Mr. Shapiro, our healthy living. It's great. We've got a lot of Mr. Stu. Oh gosh, our partnership. Yeah, we have we like to connect with SoCal High a lot, and a lot of our staff members, and with sports and with academics. And we have Mr. Stewart here as well for band. That's right.
Perfect.
Right. Well, thank you again. I don't
Thank
think we have any
you.
more questions or comments from the board. Any questions or comments from folks in the audience? No. All right. And do we have any email comments?
Nothing on email.
Okay. Thank you again.
Thank you.
for an awesome
Thanks, everyone.
presentation.
All right. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night, everyone.
Thank you too. And we were so lucky to see
Thanks for
some
having
new
us.
Brighton students tonight too. So great. Our next item is the report on inter-district and intra-district transfers for this school year.
All right, so kind of like some of our previous conversations, numbers tell one part of the story, and there's also a bigger part of the story. And so I'd like to take that approach with transfers as well. Something that was just mentioned is like every student comes with different needs and a need of different supports. And that is, I think that ties in really in an important way to transfers. If you started with just the numbers, knowing everything we know in a vacuum, we'd like to say there's no transfers out and only transfers in, right? But we don't operate in a vacuum. And just like every other approach we take with the district, we really try to take individual family needs and the supports that are needed into consideration. And so that's family by family. And literally, I got to give our executive assistant, Jen Del Carlo, a lot of credit. She really reaches, when you talk about outreach, that phrase is used a lot, and she really engages in that process, gets to know a lot of the families individually, because the process for a transfer, whether it's inter out of the district or intra within the district, is not just a piece of paper, it's not just a number. Every single one of those, and what there's almost 500 if we add up the ins and outs, is a story, and as an individual family and a story. And so what does that mean? We're a small county. And so, you know, in a bigger county, it's a little bit more of a trek usually to cross district lines. It's not so much of a trek in our county to cross multiple district lines. And so that adds to the complexity. It adds to the opportunity for families, you know, which when you think about it in the big picture is good. I will just say, you know, my own daughter has been a transfer out of our home district into this district at one time, into the city schools at another time, because that's what met her needs, you know, just as one individual family's perspective. And when we think about the fluidity of moving across district lines and everything, and you combine that with dreaded concept of declining enrollment across the entire state and county, that can create a going after each other kind of mentality. And I would just say I'm really proud to work in a county where that's not the case. We're all desperate for enrollment. Can't sugarcoat that, right? But at the same time, we realize, you know, eating your own isn't a way, you know, to support families in our county. And so I think what it really amounts to is the positive side of competition. You know, there can be a negative side of competition, but the positive side of competition is just having the best programs available. Where does that start? That starts in the general classroom with the best teachers, the best staff available. And I would say we can tell from everything we've heard tonight in multiple forums, we have that in place. And then sometimes it also comes from specialized programs, because sometimes families are interested in those, right? And so when we think about the great home-based learning program that was mentioned tonight, that's an avenue that works for some families, and that has kept families in our district. Dual language immersion is another thing that appeals to some families and keeps families in our district. The SAGE program, Santa Cruz Gardens, with a garden emphasis and emphasis on environmental literacy. All of those are important offerings to make sure that we're staying competitive in a good way. I guess the last thing I would just say is to emphasize that point about every individual family. You all have heard some appeals when we've had to deny transfers. We take any time that we deny a transfer, usually out of the district, very seriously. We talk with the families. It never comes to you first. We talk with the families, really try to understand their why. And while we're always very upfront when Jen and I meet with them, we want you to stay here. That's our first message to them, for the fact of having a stronger community, keeping families in our schools and our community. But at the same time, we want to hear this story. And so oftentimes it comes down to a childcare issue, for example. And, you know, you say, well, let's put a program in place. We do have programs in place, right? We have a great partnership with CKC. We have a great partnership with the city of Capitola that we added a few years ago. In fact, when we went into closed session, their program was just wrapping up. But sometimes it's a family friend. It's not a program. And that family friend lives somewhere closer to another school district. Those are hard decisions when we either approve or deny a transfer. So that's all the context around the numbers. So let's look at the numbers. Let's start with inter-district transfers, right? Which is the most impactful in terms of our numbers when you think financially, right? Because when you lose a student out of the district, that is a financial impact. And you can see that we're almost exactly even, right? So 231 transfers into our district. That's 231 students who don't live in our boundaries, who are guests in our school district. And then we have 235 students out of the district who live within our boundaries and choose to go somewhere else. And all the host of reasons that are listed there along the side. Sometimes it's because of a sibling already attends another school. We're not going to break families up. As I mentioned, sometimes it's because of childcare and all the host of reasons that are there. Intra-district transfers are obviously a little bit different. Those, in terms of the financial impact, it's not a financial impact on our district because they stay within our boundaries of the district, and we still retain the ADA. But it's an impact on the program of each school, and we take those very seriously as well. And you can see that there's a pretty balanced intra-district transfer in and out between our schools. So again, not as impactful in terms of the bottom line, but very impactful to families to have options, and very impactful to each school as they build their programs. And I guess I would just say in the end, the biggest thing, just to reiterate, is that we really take it as a family by family approach, and always try to first keep families in our district, but also hear their story and make decisions that are based on the whole family, the whole child, and not just the bottom line. And I just want to say one more time, thank you, Jen, for putting the numbers together. And thank you for the diligence with which you work with each individual family and hearing their stories. And with that, I'll turn it over to the board.
Okay, thank you, Jen. Questions or comments from the board?
I mean, just a numbers that Scott on the total ins and outs for 23-24. There's 231 in, 235.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
It's 233. I did the math real quick.
Okay.
I think the -2 is right.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just wanted to see if you're paying attention. You passed. Good job.
I used the kind of addition that our kids probably don't use anymore.
Well, I've had to retrain
I know
myself
there's
there.
so many great ways you can do do addition and division now, but yeah, thank you for that. Sorry if I interrupted in any way. Any other questions on that, or we were just doing a number check?
No, it's just.
Thank you. Yeah, Bill.
So in the past, I asked if we could hear the reasons for people joining.
Okay. Well, it's all the same reasons, and we don't have it broken down that way, but it's often the same reasons. Sometimes childcare, but sometimes program, right? So yeah, we can make a little bit more of a determined effort to share that with the board in the future
The
too.
reason I'm asking is like, let's do more of whatever that is, so we can attract more.
I agree. I hear what you're saying 100%, but just with the caveat that it's not always an internal reason within our control, right?
Right.
Both ways, right? Of course, I want to say that all the ones in are because of our great programs. They often are, but sometimes it's for the same external kind of reasons that I mentioned before. But yeah, we can continue to track
But
that
they
too.
don't really state why they're coming in to our district, right?
They do on the form. They do on the form state
Do
where they're
they?
coming in.
Okay.
Yeah, we just obviously focus a little bit more on the ones going out because, that's the ones we don't want to lose.
And I think if we send out press release with the menu, we'll get even more.
Keep working on that.
Oh, the menu, yeah.
Scott, how much is the after school program and our partnership with CKC done to help bring kids into the district or keep them here?
I think both programs have, CKC has been a partner for a long time. And I think that really allows families, obviously, to live in this area. For most of us, it takes 2 incomes.
Yeah.
And so, having that program available for a long time has made a difference. And then I always like to give City of Capitola a shout out because when COVID hit us, there was a need for more and more and more childcare, and they really stepped up into a really unique childcare opportunity then. In fact, they were partnering with us to provide a place for students come to do their distance learning. So while we were teaching from afar, they gave a safe space for students to come to at that very beginning. And the fact that they've continued that has been really important. I think at the middle school level, City of Capitola has even been more important because that's a hole that we had before. We had CKC at the elementaries, but nothing at the middle school.
100%.
But then they've added also, two of our elementary schools. And so, I can't quantify it exactly, but I can tell you qualitatively, it makes a big difference to have CKC and City of Capitola.
Yeah, that's great.
I might add you, so I sent you the photo at the job fair. CKC was there. They're looking to hire people, so they must be doing okay.
Yes, for sure.
So in Opal Cliffs, I see we have 2 8th graders that came in, independent studies from another district within the county, or just, that's what right? Is that what happened? So with our independent studies?
Yes, that is correct. That's the numbers we have.
And then the one that went from SoCal to Opal Cliffs, the TK, is that independent study as well? Are they, so we're not hosting a TK there right now? That's independent, that's all independent study, right?
Everything through the home-based learning program is part of the independent study program. It's a little bit more than what we normally think of as independent study. Jessica and Lori Kearney have done like a really thorough job. Students check in every day. So sometimes when we think of independent study, it's like a packet or something, but it's not like that. It's really like self-guided and supported learning, but just done in a virtual fashion.
Oh, so the 2
sometimes
8th graders
check-in.
that came in, their district didn't have this program?
I don't remember the
Yeah.
families exactly. I'm not sure
Okay.
if you do. Yeah, they didn't. So
Okay, great.
That's a perfect example, right?
It works.
Yep. Every student counts.
I guess I just wanted to say that I appreciate that we really work with families and their needs. I think that's just so human, and I'm really glad that we take that approach. I'm just curious about there is a lot of other categories. I just wonder if for our own benefit, are these categories reason for leaving the district? Did we make those up, or is that a form?
It's a countywide agree to 2 form.
Okay. Okay.
It's a good question. I think it's something that I asked in the past because we would love more information.
Yeah.
But from what I recall, we're not allowed to ask certain questions, or they just might choose not to answer them if I don't want to misspeak, but
Yeah, I mean, we can try to, drill in a little bit there. And, we often, when we meet with parents, try to drill in a little bit. So, yeah, it's a box to check, but we can try to drill down into that box a little bit more.
Piggyback on that comment. I mean, even Christina in her presentation stated every student gets what they need. I listen. No, that was good. And that's kind of shows right here too.
Yeah.
The in and out really makes sense. I'm glad that we keep track of this. Like I said, working with the families is great, but maybe that could be like a benefit for us to try to understand.
Sure.
But it sounds like Jen holds all the secrets of the stories of the family. Maybe Jen could give the next presentation.
She probably could.
Yeah.
I won't put her on the spot.
And I love that we have 0 SARS. I think that's great.
Yes. That is a really good point.
That's a good number.
We really try to reserve for only the most drastic cases when all of our internal supports for attendance don't work.
And in all the years that I can remember, we always have, a great number of transfers coming to New Brighton Middle School. Yep. And that's always so nice to see. People are so excited. They know about our wonderful programs, all the things you spoke to tonight. All of our schools are amazing, but when people have the opportunity maybe to consider a different middle school, a lot of them are looking at New Brighton. Yeah. Anything else from the team here? All right. Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments for us? Thanks for sticking with us. Anything on email?
Nothing.
It's going to be the running joke. I'm just going to keep asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Not yet.
No. Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you for that great presentation. Next up, we have our LCAP bite.
Okay, well, it's perfect timing, actually, to bring this item to the board.
And it is related to goal 2, specifically goal 2.9, and that is the expanded learning opportunity program.
Wonderful.
And I think the board has heard a little bit over time about the offerings that each of our school sites have made available to our community at large. But one of the things I wanted to share with the board tonight was that it is not easy to create an expanded learning opportunity program the way that we have created it in this district. Every school site individually determines, based on their student population, the types of courses that they want to offer, what the kids are interested in, what the staff is passionate about. And what has been really interesting to find is that our staff working directly with our students are keeping our students at the schools that they attend for 9 hours a day. And I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I wasn't thinking like, let's be at school 9 hours a day. I loved my teachers and I loved school, but that just wasn't something I was considering, nor was it available. And it is available. And I'm very proud of the staff that we have. And I'm very proud of the plans that our principals write in support of that plan. Because that also is not easy. There is accountability that's associated with these expanded learning opportunity programs. So every principal at the onset of the year is required to draft a plan that goes to our entire district plan. And it has to account for 12 specific items. So the state says, do you have qualified staff? Is it a safe environment? Do you have a metric that you're collecting at the beginning and at the end, like during reporting periods? That's typically when we change our classes. Is the experience that the student's experience duplicative of what they get during the day? It can't be. So then what else is it? So you can't just say, well, this is what we were learning in class today. Let's try it again until we get it right. Like that's not the reason. So the reason that these grant funds are available to us is to expand our students' view of the world and opportunity for experience. When I see kids walking down to the beach, through ELAP, I'm thinking, how great is that they're getting into the community and they're getting to see the environment in which they live with their classmates and with one of their staff members at their school. So I just wanted to be able to share that with the board tonight. This is what the plan looks like, just so you can kind of see, what it looks like. It's kind of like an LCAP. It's not something that just gets imagined in your head and it magically happens. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort from the teachers, the principals, the school staffs, but also our business staff and myself to be able to ensure that all of the components are met and that everybody gets paid, because we pay our staff well to do the work that they do well. And not a lot of districts will do that. And I think I've told the board before, I have friends in other districts that say, can I come teach ELAP in your district? Because that looks great. And I have to say, no, I can't even do it. So you can. But I just think it's worth mentioning, without the dedicated staff that we have, there's no way we can do it. And that's really great. We also have a large number of students who are participating. We have, I think, 30 classes at one school alone. That's amazing. That's more than the community center. And so I think that that's worth mentioning. And also just one last item that I thought was worth mentioning in this little bite for the board is that Allison and I spoke last night, and $123,000 have been expended this year in our ELAP program. And that means that's the investment we're making in our community. And I think that's the best investment that we could make other than what we do during a regular school day. So just wanted to give everybody a shout out for doing a really great job in creating equity on purpose, giving every student a chance. So that is my update.
Thank you. Questions or comments? That was like perfect timing that this came after Christina's presentation. Yeah, that was a really nice connection. I just had to write down equity on purpose. I love that. That's right.
Yeah, I just love all the ELAP offerings. It's so exciting that we can do that. And that the requirement is that it has to be different than the school day. I love that. It makes it so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the work you put into it, you know, and
Yeah.
showing us and explaining that, you know, because a lot of times we, you know, yeah, it just magically appears,
Yeah.
you know, but, you know, we do have a terrific staff and they put together great offerings for the kids.
Well, and there was a point that's been well raised by a colleague on a different school board in our county. And it's something that he keeps bringing up to CSBA and local legislators, which is the burden at times of reporting and accountability. And especially, you know, he happens to be someone from a single school district. And when you have a principal superintendent who also probably teaches and does, you know, does 8 other things like accountability is really important, but we also have, it's so important for us all to understand the work that goes behind all of the reporting because it's easy to, you know, we can maybe imagine what it takes to create the program and then actually run the program, but then all of that other work of putting everything in the binder and making sure the state gets their info that they need to make sure all those boxes are ticked. It's it can be really burdensome. But bottom line is kids are getting what they need. So thank you to you and everyone and all the folks out there doing the good work.
We're all doing it. Yeah.
Anything else from the board? No, thank
No,
you.
just thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The information tonight.
Questions or comments?
Let's see if there's anything on, nothing on the.
Okay, all right, thank you. That wraps up our discussion items. Now we're on to action items and we're going to go back to some items that are pulled from consent. So I think it's on page 26 on the board docket. Sometimes we just want maybe a little more information or
Sure.
to have the opportunity to discuss something that was on the consent agenda. So item 4E is approving, both of these are approving job descriptions. So 4E is for the accounts payable technician.
Page 26.
Page 26, thank you.
So if it's okay, I'll just kind of address both of them. And so, you know, classified school employees are often the overlooked heroes, unsung heroes of a school district, and jobs have changed a lot. And sometimes job titles and job descriptions don't keep up. And so, you know, gone are the days where anybody in an assistant's role is like a clerical kind of person or a secretarial person. These are technicians and specialists. And so these 2 jobs that we brought forward, new job descriptions tonight, are in that vein. These are more specialist jobs on the benefit side and also, you know, on the business side of the house. And so the idea obviously is to keep up with what's really happening with these jobs and make sure that the job descriptions match what is really the skill base that is needed and that they're compensated appropriately so that we can retain and recruit the very best, because all of these wonderful things that are happening with our students that we've heard about tonight are why we do everything we do, but it takes a lot of work in the background to make that happen. And these positions are a couple of the ones that allow behind the scenes for that to happen. So that's why we brought forward these 2 job descriptions. We want to be able to make sure that it keeps up with industry standards and that they're compensated appropriately.
Thank you. Questions from the board? We can do them one at a time since we'll need to approve them each separately. So on the first one, which is the accounts payable technician.
Is this job filled right now?
It's under a different job title, but this would change the job title and be under this job description.
I have a general question. I assume there's a process, maybe an ADCO or how does it bubble up to reach the decision like, oh gosh, a job description needs to be updated or we need to move something on the scale because times have changed?
Cabinet level usually, and of course our human resources giant department headed over there by Sandy Figueroa.
Yeah.
You know, regular reviews, everything that happens in our district with personnel. And so she would usually be the one to bring that to the surface for consideration.
Okay. Thank you.
So I appreciate tweaking what's going on. When we have somebody work for us in the operations area, it'd be nice for them to think that they have a career arc, you know, that there's something beyond this job that they can move up a little bit. And having a more technical or specialist position, it gives them something to aim for. Otherwise, they'll just leave.
It's well said.
do the requirements for the job with the new title and everything like that incorporate either a more like either advanced education or a college degree or 2 years in a similar job and some sort of similar experience to get somebody that's of the caliber that you're looking for now?
No, just skills. Not a hard and fast degree or certification, just the skills embedded in the job description.
So they're coming to us with the knowledge and know-how to do this, or are we training, are we still bringing them in?
The people in the positions right now have these skills.
Okay.
So the trend out there now is to hire. First, I have to test you on your skills, then we'll talk. Because, everybody thinks they're at this level and that level. And so hiring folks now are like, okay, do you really know what you're doing? And so I appreciate that that's what you have in the job description. When you're going out to recruit, it's difficult for schools and government in general because in the job descriptions, they speak a different language than out there in the rest of the world. And folks that are out there in Silicon Valley that don't want to do that drive, I don't think they even know that there's a position here locally that they are qualified for, that they could work.
So I would like to say that I wish we could just pay everybody more. What I'm trying to understand and why I wanted us to really talk about this is when I look at this classified unit salary schedule, I see positions on there and I just wonder why these positions versus other positions. For example, something that I think we could improve on in this district is instructional aides with special ed. We source a lot of that out. We lose money based on these other agencies that we hire from. I mean, there's a lot of positions in here. I'd like to understand why these positions and not other classified positions.
It's a good question, and I wouldn't disagree about the instructional aides, and I wouldn't disagree about wanting to raise every single position across the district, across all classifications and certifications. There are just some through, our experience where we realize the job description and the job title has outgrown or has not kept up with it. The reality of the job has not kept up with the job description, or has outgrown it, I should say. And so, well, yeah, I mean, if the driving force was, just a pay increase, obviously that would be one thing, but this is more aligning the actual reality of the job to the job description. And there's a gap between those two things with these two positions.
So I hear you on those two positions. Are there other positions here that you have your eye on that the gap is not quite meeting the actual position?
It's a continual analysis. Right now, I don't have any to share with the board, but it's something we're always looking at.
Any other questions?
Another question. So this position here, I think you said the document, is it a 20?
From 27.
They're both from range 27 to range 32.
Okay, and then it gets bumped to the highest range. Could you tell me about that choice?
Just it's more in line with the skill set needed and making sure that the positions are compensated in a way that we can retain and recruit.
Yeah, I want to be fair. I mean, because what we're doing is we're taking one job title and we're moving it to the highest range. And I just want to know these other job titles with these other people that we love that also could use a pay increase. Are they on the table? That's what I want to know. And I guess this is maybe in this moment, being on this side of the table, I can't know all those details. But I have to leave it open because I don't know those details. That I really want us to think about all those jobs and who's actually maybe not pacing. Like I pointed out with those instructional aides, and I'm sure there's more because I don't know what all these various jobs are, but I'm just going to leave it at that I would love for us to really think about all these job titles and who else is not really getting paid, like you were saying, a more competitive salary.
And yeah, well said, and definitely will reflect on that. But also just want to add the part that the job description has not kept pace with the realities of the job position.
For example, data analysis, everybody does it now. I doubt if it's in very much in any of the job descriptions. You know, how to go and pull info down, slice and dice it, that whole bit, spit out a report. That government job descriptions are behind. I mean, the county jobs still have faxing. You have to know how to fax and everything. I mean,
What's that?
yeah. I know.
A good
They-
example looking
so-
in the rearview mirror was student services. It used to be more of a clerical job. I forget what the title was. It was probably something assistant. Now the job title, if you go to student services, the job title is data specialist, or data technician. I forget which one. What is it? Data analyst, thank you.
Yeah.
Because if you think about what they have to do in the special education system with SACE and everything, it's not just like supporting the director, like they are doing the work. And
Right.
so the nature of those jobs have really changed. As well as that, I mean, again, I would just agree with Trustee Edmondson that I wish we could do a similar process for every single position. These just happen to be the ones that come to the top of the radar in terms of really trying to keep up with the realities of the job and making sure that the job description isn't outdated.
So I'm gonna guess there's no job description as using AI.
Not yet, not yet.
And are
Yeah,
any
but
of these
people use
jobs
it.
not filled right now?
Any of which jobs?
On the classifieds? Oh, maybe these aren't actual positions. Or do we have any open positions right now in our district?
We
In
do
the
have some open
classified-
positions, yeah.
In the classified?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So good discussion. I'm glad we pulled it out so we can have the conversation and get some more clarity. And it does sound like there is a continual process for checking our job descriptions and making sure things are in alignment with the reality of what our incredible staff is doing every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough getting to be current decade, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we all know all the requirements keep continually moving. If we don't have any further questions from the board, I want to see if we have any questions or comments from the audience. Okay,
Nothing.
nothing on email.
I see a hand.
Oh, yes.
Retain people in that position. For.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right, didn't have any email. All right, do we have a motion to approve item 4E? I believe I was.
I
scrolled
moved.
down. Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. I know we discussed these both together, so if there isn't a specific question, any specific questions on 4F, are we ready for a motion? Okay, do I have a motion to approve item 4F?
I'll make a motion.
All right, Robert and Ted, are you seconding?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right, and now we're gonna go down to item 9A, consider approval of the single plans for student achievements, the SIPSAs.
So each year I bring to the board a site plan or single plan for student achievement for each of our school sites. Those are not written by Ed Services. They are written by the educational partners of each individual student site based on the data, student needs, staff strength, community input, and all of those kinds of things. Each of those plans is required by Ed Code and the Elementary and Secondary Education Act and all of those kinds of things to come to the board for approval. They all work directly under the LCAP. So as you took a look at each of the site plans, you would notice that there's a lot of component parts very similar to the LCAP, but each of the site goals is underneath one of our LCAP goals. So if one of our LCAP goals is that we'll look at, data to improve the services that we provide students. We're gonna analyze that data. There will be an associated site plan goal that will attempt to meet that interest. Now, the difference between an LCAP and a SIPSA plan is that it's really organic in nature. There's not a lot of cookie cutter kinds of responses that are expected to be given. They're meant to speak the language of the school, the story of the school, and kind of the interest and need of the school community. So it's my hope tonight, and all of our educational partners at each of our sites, in partnership with their home and school clubs and their school site councils who all review these, that the board would consider approval of their plans.
Thank you very much. Questions or comments from the board?
These plans are so much work. I appreciate how much.
Thank you. Yeah,
how
they're
much work
really
goes
thorough
into
too.
these. Yeah.
Took me forever.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that. I mean, I will say, the principals and their school communities work very hard on these.
Right, yeah.
You can tell.
They look at their communities very carefully. Scott and I have an opportunity to, kind of look through them and work through them in advance with them. I also too was impressed by the quality of the plan, so I appreciate you mentioning that.
Yeah. I don't have any specific questions, also appreciating how thorough they are. I really don't like it's nothing from us here, but these dashboard graphics, they still don't make sense to me. They have these bar graphs that go up and they don't make.
They're gonna go back to the killers.
Yeah, thank you. Because they're I was like, I just have to ignore that image and actually read the description underneath, because they don't connect for me, for the way my brain works.
Somewhere around December 15th.
Okay.
Your old graphic.
Boy, yeah, big thank you to the school site councils and all of the teams that are working together with our principals on these. It's so much work, but
And they're really
meaningful
for us too. I mean, to understand the resource inequities. I mean,
Yeah.
I read this, I feel like I'm more educated. I'm better able to do this job, and understand the different ins and outs of the different schools too, and the sites. So having them put, and a lot of these things aren't easy to write, when you're talking about a lot of this, and just it's courageous. It's a good job.
Thank you. Yes.
So site councils involved?
School site council have to give their approval. Yep. Yep, absolutely. That is part of the legal requirement.
Right.
Yeah.
School site council is?
Site council.
Yeah. Oh, I was on the school site council. Looking at this before.
One of the things that was probably, sent to you for review. But, I would say, that the level of interest and engagement has changed over time.
Oh, yeah.
It's really increasingly important for the state of California to have our communities understand fully and have a voice in what's happening. And I appreciate that.
Are these available for our community?
Yep.
To
they
see,
get
they're up on the
posted.
website? Great. Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for putting it all together too, and that you're not blowing hot air, and it's really a whole lot of work that I know the staff put in there, because I read it and I just like, wow, that's not a 15-minute job. So yeah, thank you for all that and what you do in the staff. Yeah. And and the staff too as well.
All right. Well, if we don't have any other questions or comments from the board, I'll bring it back out to our in-person audience. Any questions or comments on the SIPSAs? No? Okay. Thank you. Excellent reading material. And after the board approves them, they'll be up on the website. So no emails. Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve our SIPSAs?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you. And thank you again. All right. Our last action item is to consider approval of the date and time of the board's annual organizational meeting.
So new law requires us to not only have an organization meeting, which the board has always had in December and will continue to have in December, but now to officially approve the date that the organization meeting will happen on. we've had it planned for December 20th for some time. And so tonight, just ask the board to make that official.
All right. Questions or comments from the board? No.
I hope it includes cookies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Noted. Questions or comments from the audience? Anything on email?
Nothing on email.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the date and time of our annual organizational meeting?
Make the motion.
Thank you, Ted. A second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Callie. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. Correspondence? Anyone have any correspondence that needs to be reported correspondence to be reported out? Okay. Went really quickly on that. Future agenda items, anything that needs to be added to this list? If not now, you're always welcome to reach out. No? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn? I'm making the motion to adjourn.
Oh, okay. I'll second it. I'll second.
10 seconds, all in
Both
favor?
thumbs up.
Aye. Any opposed?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you
Stick
all.
around,
We
Jeanette.
are adjourned.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you very much. Good night. Thank you for teaching.